Ulric Cross.
I'm here in studio with Mr. C.L.R. James.
To understand this moment in time, you need to take a wider view of history. Take a man like J.J. Thomas. 1886, he predicted that the descendants of African people now dispersed in various countries of the Western Hemisphere must begin occupying themselves in matters of racial importance. All of a sudden, we begin to have an identity, the creation of a consciousness, a movement that is about racial importance. The First World War. We have West Indian soldiers, African soldiers, colored American soldiers, met in the trenches of Europe, fighting for king and country, dying. We have the Russian Revolution in 1917.
That's the year I was born.
Then you were born for freedom. Us West Indian people always were a rebellious people.
That is true.
Trinidadian exceptionalism.
My name is Nickolai Cross. I have no knowledge of his life before me.
How should I address you?
It's Ulric.
I feel like I could kick myself for not having started this before.
When I was appointed High Commissioner in London, the Foreign Office in London asked, how did I wish to be addressed? Judge, which I had been.
Right.
Professor, which I had been.
Exactly.
Squadron leader, which I had been.
It's just so silly that it takes him dying for this to happen.
That's how it is. That's how it is. These are the times we were told would come.
Okay, I guess let's just start at the beginning, okay? So, where were you born?
I was born in Port of Spain, Belmont, precisely.
I was born in Port of Spain, Belmont, on the tiny island of Trinidad.
Welcome. Hi.
Hello. How are you doing?
Ready to have a good time. Welcome. Great, how are you? Welcome, have some drinks.
We were proud colonials. On special occasions, my parents would dress up and invite their small circle of friends. I can see them all now.
Oh, yeah.
My mother was my whole world.
Come on, let me get some rhythm here.
My uncle C.L. Williams, my childhood hero, a big shot, inspector of inland revenue. Aunt Daphne went to America and came back with some fancy dances. And Auntie V, with those light eyes and skin, all the guys wanted to court her. We were the creme de la creme of the brown middle class. Not black, not white, but sandwiched between. Trapped in that colonial moment.
Thank you very much.
Okay, lights out.
I was the one they pinned their hopes on. The bright one, the star boy. I read all the time. I would go away to university and become a lawyer. First, I had to win a scholarship to high school, the coveted exhibition.
What are the islands around England?
The island Bar, the island Pocatello, and the Isle of Wight.
7 9s.
Education, education, education. In those days, it was beaten into us.
Ulric? Wake up, Ulric. The exhibition. You got it. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Oh. And you came first on the island.
I remember the morning my mother told me the good news. I had got into the best college in the country. Only 8 boys on the island got that. My father gave me a gold watch and a bicycle. The whole town celebrated. Then my mother died. My father left to seek work in Venezuela. I was devastated. We were taken in by a neighbor, Miss Small, and learned the rules of the real world.
Whenever we sit at the table, we don't ever put our elbows on the table.
White is right, brown is wrong.
Okay, that's okay. And you sit up.
Sit up straight, smile discreetly, don't be loud.
Very good. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Fit in.
These thy gifts, through Christ our Lord. Amen. Eat up.
I went off the rails completely. My schoolwork suffered. I lost the scholarship. At 15, I left school and went out to work. Without education,
Morning, Cross.
my opportunities were limited. One dead-end job after another.
A hard day, boy, a hard day.
So in my spare time, me and a few of the boys started a reading group. We read everything we could get our hands on.
I want this story, I want this scoop.
Our abode was in Trinidad, but we lived in the world.
You can imagine our ancestors doing that, coming down from that.
We got down Hitler's Mein Kampf.
That Negro peoples possess no native tradition is a criminal. We're not saying that. We're not saying that.
Hitler had conquered the whole of Europe. Britain alone stood firm.
Well, that's why we're here.
We knew that war was inevitable. It was our job to protect the mother country.
We are a colonial nation. England is where it is. I can't take him no more now.
I am speaking to you from the Cabinet Room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin ended the German government.
This was my chance to get out, to escape our narrow colonial society. I signed up for training.
I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
3 years later, I was called to duty.
And all I see is sheep.
You know, you remind me of somebody I used to.
Ulric.
Anthony McFarlane, they call me Pony.
Okay. Boy.
We're laughing, fella.
I'm picking up an accent there.
First time I met Pony.
Jamaica.
Jamaica?
Was on the train coming down from Sheffield to RAF Training Camp, London.
Trinidad.
But that's a place.
He reminded me so much of my Uncle CL. Same self-importance.
You know, when you arrive in London, you have to look sharp in the sport.
Right.
Hey, brother. Can I get a cigarette?
Oh, sure, man.
What's the name? Oh, Kofi Mensah.
Kofi Mensah.
Kofi Mensah.
Ulric Cross.
I knew right away we would be great friends.
Cross. Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from Gold Coast.
Gold Coast?
In Africa.
Africa?
Yeah. And I'm going to drop bombs on Hitler personally. Myself.
Yep, me too. I read Hitler's book, Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
He's just a ripe old bastard, man.
We saw eye to eye on most things, especially women.
I like a little milk with my coffee.
I was headed for a big adventure, and I had 2 new friends. I had no way of knowing then how they would shape my life.
Let's just go and kill Hitler.
I had never even been to Tobago. Yet England felt like home to me. My uncle was a doctor in Bolton. Every month, he sent a supply of English newspapers. Trafalgar Square, Soho Square, an English Bobby, Piccadilly. Wait till everybody back home hears about this.
What's the matter with you, man?
Read the bottom paragraph.
Are you of pure European descent? Well, we both know what the answer to that question is, right?
Of course.
Yes.
No. What do you mean by no? Yes, no. Am I a white man?
Oh.
I'm an African. So are you.
Never. I'm just as European as anybody else here.
Okay, well, you just put yes, I'll put no. We'll see how far.
Did you understand the question?
Coloreds couldn't fly planes, they said. It was 2 long years before I finally got my chance. Britain was losing the war badly. We were not hitting our targets. Our job was to turn that around. 139 Division Pathfinder Force. No one knew about it. A special elite force. I was a navigator, the only West Indian in my squadron.
600 meters.
We left Sheffield by night, in formation, arriving in France 3 hours later. Keeping low, treetop height.
350.
Just me and the pilot in the tiny cabin. Our small wooden planes, Mosquitoes, were fast, very light. They flew close to the ground, the better to see the targets.
Drop the flare.
The bombers coming behind had 10 seconds to hit the target. Hit a break in the clouds and we're out.
And now I'm going to ask Flying Officer Ulric Cross to speak for West Indians in the services. Ulric is a navigator in one of our own bomber
The
squadrons.
Pathfinders found their target.
Well, it's a job to know where to start. If I could navigate you on a magic carpet...
We changed the course of the war.
Hmm? Well, I can say, to use an expression, I have courted death in that I have flown 80 missions over Germany. Without a rest. You could take a rest. You would take a rest at 30, you could take a rest at 50. I took no rest.
Why?
Why was that? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea at all why I did that.
Weren't you scared?
I assumed I would die. My last search, I assumed I would die in one of those. But I didn't. Don't know I know why.
Okay, I'm just gonna bend your knee a little. Just bend, pull it towards you. Okay.
The announcement came that the war had ended.
Goodbye, little girl.
I love your smile. Look at you.
I had survived.
Do you dance?
Yeah, I'm a good dancer.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love dancing.
Really?
Ulric from Trinidad. Hey, Cody, you're still alive. You too. To the future.
Indeed.
I felt uncomfortable with the word hero. I was a soldier doing a job and I did it well. I proved that I was as good, no, better than any Englishman. Now it was time to get on with my life.
It's love alone, of course, King Edward, to be good through.
I went home to Trinidad. I petitioned the governor for a scholarship to study law, but he refused. He said there were too many lawyers in Trinidad.
Now, may I ask you your name?
Lord Kitchener.
Lord Kitchener. Now, I'm told that you are really the king of calypso singers. Is that right?
Yes, that's
Well, now, will you sing for us?
Right now.
Yes.
London is the place for me to...
Now, why have you come to England?
To seek a job.
And what sort of job do you want?
Any type, so long as I get a good pay.
India, Asia, Australia,
I don't know why he came back to this country.
After the war, I was celebrated as a hero here in England. The most decorated West Indian, as a matter of fact. And then I go back home to some stupid little island, Trinidad, to have them tell me that I can't be a lawyer because why? I have too many lawyers in Trinidad. It's a good thing I had enough contacts to get me a job at the colonial office.
There's nothing here for you.
Kofi was right. Things had changed in England.
I need a job.
Just give me a minute.
I have a very complicated background, you see. I was in the army for 2 years.
Despite our sacrifice, jobs and housing were hard to come by.
Help me find some work.
Mr. Trovo, West India Docks. Yes, bright and early Monday morning, 8 a.m. sharp.
I was lucky. My war buddy Pony got me a desk job at the colonial office.
Sport. I'm coming out tonight.
No, not tonight.
But this was not what I risked my life for. I worked by day and studied by night. I passed the bar in 14 months.
Hi.
Yet all my applications for work were fruitless.
What fulfills you, Ulric?
What fulfills me?
After all these years trapped in the same system, you are happy. I am Ulric Cross. I am here to represent all the colored folk. I won't bite. I won't harm you. I'm harmless. I'm not a cannibal. In fact, if my eyes were closed, I would have thought I was listening to a white man. Poster boy. Pin-up boy. Handsome Ulric Cross. They've used us like cattle. Their men died and they called us. Now we're here. You think they want us here?
Kofi, nobody tells me what to do, man. Nobody. You need to lighten up, my friend.
I'll lighten up, but I won't lighten up.
Kofi's words hit home. We were outcasts, rejects of the war. I left the RAF. I decided to take my chances on City Street.
Give it to me a little more gentle.
The BBC were just starting their Caribbean Voices
It
program.
was a summer night. It was the kind of night that if you wasn't making love to a woman.
Songs and stories to entertain the folks back home.
Lydia, take it away.
It was something of a mystery, why he was called Bogart.
An educated fella like me could make a few shillings.
One more time.
One more time.
Reading stories and producing segments. We were hustling in the shadows of London.
Shivering, mumbling, get a job, get a job, get a job.
The West Indies Students' Union in Earl's Court was our hub. And none other than Pony was the warden.
Ulric Cross.
My friend.
Good to see you, my friend. Came here to talk business or not?
Came here to have some fun.
Oh, boy. Will you pour the man a drink, please?
It was a crossroads for artists, academics, and future leaders.
And you have a problem with the truth? You have a problem with the fact that you are a racist asshole?
A conference that we've done it before, eh? We'll catch up.
Pony was documenting the activities and planned to publish a book one day.
Hey, Mom. Let me just get this. Shit. Wait.
You want me to move?
No, please. Okay, that's good. So, how did you meet my father?
Oh, well, it's a long time ago. I was a stranger in London, really.
Is that what you've been doing for the past couple years? I've left you.
So I moved to Earl's Court.
So what? I make a little money.
You are just wearing the white man's jacket, the white man's tie.
Wait.
And of course, Earl's Court was, it was very cosmopolitan.
The black man's jacket.
It's Italian.
It's a oh. So the Italians are black.
Yes. You didn't know. Your brain is too slow. No.
I'll have whatever you're having, man.
Okay, no problem. I won't be long.
I like to travel.
You like to travel?
Yeah. You want me to take you with me?
Oh, you're serious?
Come, let's go. Serious. Help me leave England.
And what did you think about him?
Not a lot. Later on, I got to know him better. We saw quite a lot of each other, and it was my first serious relationship.
Ulric, there's somebody that I want you to meet.
Okay, I'll be there just now. So you're here every day?
I work in a cafe around the corner. Can I make you a cup of coffee?
I would love to have a cup of coffee. I take it black. 1 spoon of sugar.
Whatever the reason, her entry into my life heralded a new beginning.
Gentlemen.
This is Mr. CLR James. Mr. George Padmore.
I had heard about Padmore.
George Padmore.
Kofi had spoken to me often about their work.
Very nice.
Man, I'm standing at the table with giants.
Gentlemen, one for posterity.
Sure. No problem.
All right, stationary. Thank you. Got it. Lovely.
Offer you a glass of wine?
Of course. I wouldn't turn that down.
Welcome.
Cheers.
So, Mr. Cross, I can't wait to hear all about you. Kofi's been telling us a lot of different things. Your line of work, you're working at the BBC, I understand.
I'm a talks producer at the BBC.
They understand you, or they just tolerate you?
Well, at least...
We understand his words, but not him.
I got to meet all the literary minds of the West Indies.
You are a lawyer. And we need good lawyers.
Padmore told me that he was recruiting lawyers for a mission in West Africa.
For what exactly?
Sounded like an incredible opportunity, but I had no desire to go to Africa. I thought of it as a backwater place full of turmoil. There was talk of independence. What role could I play there? Nevertheless, I was intrigued.
You see, Ghana was the first country to gain independence, and so there was this big shift.
Soon after, the BBC offered me a regular slot. That's how I came to interview CLR.
I'm here in studio with Mr. CLR James,
the author of Minty Alley and the Black Jacobins. And we are here this evening to talk about one of the hot topics of the day,
the independence of Gold Coast, soon to be Ghana.
CLR, why don't you tell us how you got involved?
Mr. Cross, to understand this moment in time, you need to take a wider view of history. In October 1935, I heard that a man called George Padmore, the great communist, who had lived in Russia for a while, a teacher, a writer, was coming to England to give a talk. I arrived at this place in Gray's Inn Road. This entourage arrived. And there he is. Malcolm Nurse.
Mr. CLR James. Nello.
Malcolm Nurse.
My school friend from Aruka. Malcolm Nurse. Mr. Padmore.
Yours truly.
Same person.
Malcolm Nurse. A name from my childhood.
Look at the company he's keeping.
Pony was always a good source of gossip.
Ulric, these are revolutionaries.
Brilliant young Trinidadian. Good family. Married well, but he went astray.
Padmore asked me to join his organization.
Really? As what?
What's he offering?
There might be an opportunity in Africa.
That's why I called. I mean, you know everything. What do you know about him?
I don't know anything you don't know. But what I do know is that he went to university in the States.
No, thank you.
And by the time he left, he was like persona non grata. A couple of stints in Russia. He came back all communist, and now he has that movement behind him. You know, you want to be careful, because none of those guys like more than to brainwash critical young minds like yourself. Africa. There's not but Africans over there, you know. You sure that's what you want, Mr. BBC producer?
In the end, I was left with even more doubt.
Look, man, what I'm trying to say?
More questions.
I will ask around on my end, too.
Padmore invited me to his apartment for a meeting.
Ulric.
Hello, my dear.
We've been expecting
Why did you change your name?
I was born Malcolm Nurse like you in Trinidad. I got married to Julia Semper.
Mrs. Small's niece.
When I left Trinidad to go to the United States, I became deeply involved with the Communist Party. I made a simple decision based on a simple equation. Protect the family at all costs. The CIA, the MI6, the intelligence services, you have to understand that they would have found them. And so I became George Padmore. But was it worth it? Kwame Nkrumah will be president. The first president of an African nation. We're looking for people who will follow through with these ideas. You need to ask yourself a question. What are you prepared to do? What part am I prepared to play in history? Building a movement is not easy, Mr. Cross.
I felt like I was looking at the world with new eyes and a new purpose. I was seeing Anne, but I did not feel like I could share these thoughts with her.
A dream might be heavy, heavy as lead. You hear voices whisper, lay it down instead. Give you no burden more than you can bear. You might be frightened, can't run from fear. That's how it is. That's how it is.
I was torn.
CLR, I need your help to understand. Where's all of this going?
Would you mind explaining for the listeners what's the strategy, what's the end result?
I'm coming to that. Pan-Africanism was a concept created from our nostalgic longing, but something was missing. A black star. I'm teaching at Lincoln College, Pennsylvania. I wrote to George. I have found the person who will execute our plan. One of my students was a young man called Kwame Nkrumah, a young African man.
Yes.
Propelled by a singular drive.
He intends to
overthrow imperialism in the Gold Coast.
I see.
April 1945, Waterloo Station. Train arrives. It is the moment.
Mr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Mr. George Padmore.
Welcome to London.
Padmore had the strategy, and Nkrumah was the African star.
Take a seat, man.
The force on the ground to make it happen. The rest is history. 5 months later, Manchester, England, we have the 5th Pan-African Congress.
Suddenly, I was informed that the program was cancelled.
I'm sorry, Ulric. Mr. James, I'm sorry, chap, they've cut the interview short. They said it was getting too political.
Political? BBC talks politics all the time?
Yes, this is the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Thank you for coming.
Cold, boy, cold. Thank you.
I needed to know the end of the story. So, I borrowed a tape recorder and headed to the pub.
They shut us down, man. That's what I've been trying to tell you. They'll stop at nothing to prevent us owning our own narrative.
How about we continue where we left off? What happened next? Nkrumah.
Nkrumah.
And you tell him.
Within 5 months of meeting him, we organized the 5th Pan-African Conference.
1945.
Lack of places to stay, places to eat for the delegates. The color bar.
What are we going to do?
We couldn't have it in London. Then I had a letter from Raz Makonnen. I will find places for the delegates to stay. Come up, we will organize everything for you. And bring everyone to Manchester.
We agree. We are in agreement.
World leaders are arriving at this conference.
Welcome to cold Manchester.
Thank you very much, Raz. 300 years ago, the illegal trafficking of our people began. The gold, the diamonds that belong to each and every member of the African nations. There was an energy.
Now is the seed time. Now are the hours of work. And tomorrow comes the harvest.
The great W.E.B. Du Bois.
We are going to light the fire. Africa and the West Indies going to live. Chaired by George Patton.
Mr. Kwame Nkrumah.
And Kwame Nkrumah.
Please. Put simply, and all those subjects, people, will be free.
Last call, last call. Ah, there he is, the man himself.
Pretty sure you guys could use a last drink.
Mr. McFarlane, do you still have those photographs you took in Manchester?
I do indeed.
We need more people like you.
Well, what do you consider the dangers of an increasing coloured population?
In our opinion, the most important is the long-term one of mass interbreeding. We feel that you cannot have coloured immigration on the scale...
I saw England going to the dogs.
Sooner or later, having mass interbreeding.
Riots, racial tension. I definitely did not belong there.
At Accra, a huge crowd cheers as Kwame Nkrumah leaves James Fort Prison
The
freed by the
world
governor as an act of
was
grace.
changing.
On the eve of the inauguration, what now happens in the Gold Coast may influence all West Africa.
Mr. Cross, I asked you a question. Have you made a decision?
Good. I'm going to hold you to it.
You need some warming up.
Yeah.
You just kissed me.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I can't say that I have family to leave behind necessarily. I mean, my mother died when I was just 13. And not too long after that, my father abandoned all 9 of us. My entire life seemed to change.
What? You're breaking up with me? This is a breakup? Well, say no. What the fuck? What is this? Say something, Ulric.
Just don't make a scene.
Don't make a scene. Does this mean anything to you? I mean, you don't want me to make a scene? Was it a fuck? Was it a joke? Tell me you love me. Tell me you love me. You're walking away from me. You walk away from me. You'll never see me again.
Listen, don't
point your finger at me. Talk to me. Stay. Stay. You're a coward.
For the second time, I left everything I knew behind. and took a risk on a dream. I did not know where I would land.
What's this? Mampropi Choko Kolebu.
Does it sound similar?
No.
At all?
At all. We speak English, plain and simple. So this is Ghana, man?
Yes. Across Central.
The women are beautiful.
Welcome to Ghana, my friend.
Lovely thing.
What's that, sir?
PK Asante. I take it by that name you're a member of the Asante tribe.
You'll be doing some reading.
So, George has told us a lot about you.
Well, I should hope so. He actually gave me a letter to give to you.
Mudasi. And what do you think you can bring to this new chapter?
Well, I bring my service. I bring whatever experience I've had. I was once a soldier. I've been a producer.
You still say you are a lawyer. What are you doing working for the British Broadcasting Corporation?
Well, Mr. President, to be a lawyer in England, you have to marry a solicitor's daughter, or at least so it seems. It's that hard. Just a little joke.
Well, maybe you should come here and be a lawyer, eh? Are you ready to embark on this journey together with us?
Yes, sir.
That's my president. He's called Osajefo, the savior.
Ah.
That over there?
Yes.
That's where Nkrumah plans to build the teaching hospital. He's giving free healthcare, free education. So he plans to develop the film industry to empower the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. It's a great time to be Ghanaian, my friend, and it's a better time to be African. Sorry about that, my friend. He plans to improve the roads as well. But I'm gonna take you to eat fufu.
My word. What is it?
Intestine, that's the skin, and that's the meat.
I see.
Wash your hands.
But tell me something, PK. You're sending me out to Kumasi, yeah?
Don't worry about that, my friend. You'll be met on arrival by the regional secretary. You will have a house, a car, a driver, and a butler.
Okay.
Swallow.
It's quite tasty. It's quite wonderful.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Taste that courtesy. Drink it down. Ulric?
Ow.
Ulric. You okay?
Which way is west?
That way.
If you go straight out across the ocean that way, that's where you will find Trinidad.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Yes. The same ocean.
The same ocean. So it's safe to say, welcome back home.
A new order is coming into being, and an old order is passing away. The universe itself is on the side of freedom and justice.
I feel as though everything I've ever heard or learned about Africa is all a lie.
Or what did you expect?
We're told that Africans swing on trees like monkeys. I come here now and I see a new world. New world. And I'm here to be part of this.
For Dr. Nkrumah, main architect of Ghana's independence, this is a day of fulfillment. The longing to be free, the need to be free, these are part of the rightful heritage of man, a heritage denied to colonial Africa until now.
beloved country is free forever. I made it quite clear that from now on, we must change our attitudes, our minds. We must realize that we are no longer colonial, but a free and independent people.
Ghana is the name. Ghana. We wish to proclaim. We will be jolly, merry and gay. The 6th of March, Independence Day.
Who is Ulric Cross? My father's an enigma. I'm pulling together the pieces of his life from photographs, memories, half memories. There's so much that I don't know, can't know, will never know. So I have to imagine.
It's a great time to be Ghanaian, as PK said. This land is full of resources. Gold, diamonds, bauxite, beautiful country. My new job is Crown Counsel, Solicitor General's office, Kumasi. I can't wait to get started.
Oh, it's our welcome gift. So we'll have something for you from the Asante Hene.
Really?
I know Pokuwari to welcome you to the office.
Thank you. From the Asante Hene. I'm sure I'll enjoy drinking it later.
Oh, but my friend, and that's how they always welcome you in this country. But do you know they always expect something from you? There are powers who don't want us to succeed. We have to fight those powers, change the laws, build the country. Former law was a colonial law. We need to change the system and give rights to everyone. Make sure everyone is equal in this new country.
One of my first cases was a land dispute between the Ashanti and the government. The Ashanti king owns the land, and the government plans to nationalize the foreign-owned gold mines that lease it. Due to the sensitive nature of the land ownership question and the importance of the Asante Hene, we decided that a royal visit would be more appropriate.
What are they saying exactly?
They just fucking come.
What are they saying? Tracy?
Fucking assholes. I'm just gonna handle this, don't worry. But you baby, I mean, you're gonna need pa. And the per moon sign, you know, and yes, sir, my own tuna, I say, or sign here. My move to me about Abedi, and you went to me about Abayajuma, never come from Nanaka. Hey, catch you a nine.
But any
Momon Tias, sir. Are your mancassi? Nanya, Adia, Masorika, Mediama.
Gentlemen, this doesn't seem to be going quite well. Listen, we have an opportunity here, and I believe it's a very, very unique and wonderful opportunity to benefit the entirety of the Ghanaian nation. And that would mean, of course, all tribes, including the Asante. Yes? Now, what Mr. Nkrumah is trying to do is nationalize all the gold, and in this way, we can benefit everyone. Now, it's strength in numbers. It will mean that the Asante, the Fanti, and the Ga, and all the other tribes, everyone can benefit.
It's for the benefit of Ghana.
Listen, don't you people want to grow? I mean, we have the opportunity here to make sure that everyone can benefit. It's a larger number of people, no? we can all look after each other, yes? Yes?
Yeah, you see, I can't hear from me. Am I and you may be.
He doesn't like the tone of your phone. Catch you on
The visit ended in failure. My words found deaf ears. It was clear that the Ashanti king was not interested in working with the new government.
Asante. Oh, all right. So, very sorry. Very sorry. Asante.
Don't address the Ashanti like that. I will do this.
The Asante is in business with the foreign corporations, who in turn line his pockets to make it worth his while. Where there is gold, the people are poor. The status quo remains the same.
What's your name?
Hannah.
Thank you. I'm Ulric.
Yes, sir.
Not sir, just Ulric.
Yes, sir.
It had been this way since slavery. On Nkrumah's direction, we decided to go straight to the mining companies. As my father always said, those who cannot hear will feel. To General Sir Edward Spears, Chairman Ashanti Gold Mines Corporation, consider this your formal notice that you will now owe taxes to the Ghanaian government for every ounce of gold mined by your company on Ghanaian soil. Yours sincerely, Philip Louis Ulric Cross, Senior Crown Attorney.
Nkrumah appointed me, so I don't understand how the Asante can have the right to get rid of me.
I'm so sorry. Although Kumasi is part of Ghana, it has its own rules and regulations, and everything falls under the Ashanti.
My friend, you can't imagine the type of power they have and the type of power they're trying to protect.
We're gonna really miss you.
I'm discovering that Africa is every bit as tribal and exclusive as Europe. And that I am still, after all, that brown-skinned island boy from Belmont, orphaned, an outsider. And I miss you.
When I knew that Ulric was going to Ghana and that I could not go with him.
How did that make you feel?
Devastated at the time. And I said, Anne, you've got to do something, not lay around here with a broken heart. Get on and do something. So I applied to something called Universal Aunts, and they provide carers. And so I got a job going to Venezuela.
Dear Anne, I write to you today full of remorse and sadness at our last meeting. I'm not sure if you've been receiving my letters. I miss talking to you. I long to tell you about the extraordinary journey that I am on.
To first Ghana independence.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. To friendship as well.
This place is nothing like what I thought it would be like. Is that good or bad?
Well, it's good. And perhaps bad as well.
This is Ghana's African Affairs Center.
Ulric, this is it. This is the central half.
You finished printing when I
No, this is where the research is done. This is where the reports are written. This is where the speeches are written.
The African Affairs Bureau was established 2 years ago for George Padmore.
Thank you very much.
George! He might promote his ideas for Pan-African Federation.
Thanks, bye-bye. Ulric, come.
Oh, you're done.
Ulric,
Oh, you're
good to
very
see you.
much. Yeah.
As you can see, we're starting. We're at the beginning. Again, we're trying to put together the agenda. The All-African People's Congress. Well,
He's very busy.
no. This is the guest list. The beginnings of a guest list. Patrice Lumumba will be attending the conference. Have we heard back from Munlandi? Munlandi, please contact his office in Mozambique, Cameroon. Ahmad, have we heard back from him? We need to know if he's coming. Leave it with me.
What I also need to discuss is how I can be of service to you.
Warming to know.
Yes?
It's good to see you, Ulric. We need help.
Yes.
We are responsible for putting together the All-African People's Congress. First time in Africa.
Dear Ulric, thank you for sharing with me your journeys and what's been going on. And
here's what we have in front of us at the moment. And Nkrumah needs me to plan a chart.
I can indeed tell and well imagine how new and stressful it all is for you.
That's the first point. What do you think?
This Congress is key to that movement.
Because we need to collaborate on this to make it work.
But try to remember what an important contribution you're making, that you can make, only you, Ulric, can make. I wish I was with you.
So please, try your hardest. Anyone with any difficulties, let me hear them now.
Dear Anne, I was overjoyed to hear from you. Love, your
Center is sure to come a constantly growing exhortation to other peoples and territories to follow the lead of Ghana.
Good morning, gentlemen. Esteemed leaders. I've been asked to come to you today by Mr. Padmore and
Mr. President Kwame Nkrumah,
to present a draft constitution for the United States of Africa. This continent is very rich. Hence the reason why, of course, the imperialists have been bleeding it dry for the past few centuries.
We do not want any European hold over us. We want them gone.
Well, we know why the CIA, the imperialist capitalists, are opposing us. Because we are succeeding in the way we have achieved it in Ghana.
I think it is now. This is it.
I want to know that we are all on the same page. Our vision has to be united. So let's begin.
Firstly, we will serve all of the interests of all the people of Africa, regardless of nationality, tribe, class. Any feedback on that?
If we cannot control the tribal agenda, we have no opportunity of making the United States of Africa exist. We must go back to our several different countries and ensure that the people take responsibility in the sense of voting for your own government.
Well, that's actually one of the points as well. We are going to need to support all independence movements.
This is the time. We've gotten to a point where it's useless. We have been uprooted from our positions as owners of this land. If force is needed to be applied, then that is the way we should go.
There should be a way for every country to attain independence.
We need to get them out. We need to get them out. Call me impatient, but I think it's long overdue.
No force. We don't want to be like Russia or the United States of America. Focus and strategy.
Strategizing, it's time to accelerate issues because they don't want to see a united Africa. They still want to be our masters. They don't want us to be liberated economically.
For how long should we wait for? Are we going to wait 10 years, 20 years before then? The dream will never come to pass.
Eduardo, if you insist on using force,
thank you,
you will not achieve your goals. It's taken us 12 years using strategy to get Kwame Nkrumah to be president of the once Gold Coast. We have an excellent blueprint in what you have achieved there.
I'm sorry, George, but we have to go forward quickly.
Gentlemen, I advise. If you refuse to take my advice,
so it is not that we are refusing to take
I'm falling behind whatever you decide.
Yes.
Might I suggest that we still employ strategy, but we have to be sure that when the time comes, we will be ready to defend each other with force if necessary.
We want this to move forward in a non-violent way. But if a military force is needed to become independent, so be it. If Mozambique needs us, we will be there for you. But if we can't use the gun, I'll be very happy, okay? Do you agree?
Yes,
okay.
The United States of Africa.
The United States of Africa.
You see, you're laughing. You see.
What a beautiful vision.
Somewhere in the heart of Africa. Well, I'm the one.
Before we leave this room, gentlemen, I'm going to need everyone's signature.
200 delegates to the All-African People's Conference heard a speech much to their liking by the Prime Minister of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He told them to aim at a United States of Africa to be formed on the model of the USA.
I can't wait to see independence in your land.
Yes. It's a gathering of minds, great minds.
With a common vision and a common goal to drive towards the future, it's beautiful.
You know, the unanimous urgency of liberating our continent. For me, that was a high point. It's going to be a hard battle. I have the full backing of my big brothers. Well, obviously, we have a lot of enemies. I think the influence of our colonial masters is still very significant, and we need to break that down. That, to me, is the most obvious obstacle.
Chet Huntley, NBC News, Accra, Ghana.
I am traveling with Padmore throughout West Africa to spread the word of African unity. We have to go over the heads of the chiefs, directly to the people in order to disrupt the tribal agenda and that of their colonial bosses.
We only have one.
Hospitals. Yeah.
Only one teachers.
Yeah.
Only one teacher.
And Nkrumah is turning their world upside down.
Only one doctor. Pleasure.
Thank you.
And he has the overwhelming support of the people.
Today, I would like to talk to you about people. Power of people. People like you can achieve independence in Togo and bring a new birth of a nation.
It's glorious to hear your news. I saw in the papers that Congo became independent. I wish I was with you.
Padmore is inspiring, unrelenting.
Would it surprise you to know that there are billions of dollars worth of resources in Africa's soil? The word of unification. Is it? Independence. Okay. Okay. I must continue. It's okay. It's okay. I must continue. No, no, no. I must continue. I'm sorry. I need to go on.
Padmore has fallen gravely ill.
Sorry.
We are bringing him to London for treatment. Please, meet me there.
In the meantime, Ulric was writing saying that he couldn't do without me.
Meet me, Trafalgar Square. Stop. Tuesday, 15, 10 a.m. Stop.
He was our leader. He was our father. And
there have been many rumors going around. George Padmore, that he died of natural causes. I believe that my late husband was poisoned.
Ulric, excuse me. Hey, Pony, man. How long has it been? It's been too long. Too bad it had to be under these circumstances. But I hear you're doing great things in Africa.
What about you?
I'm at the High Commission.
Really? Well, that's great.
It fits me. It suits me.
Poisoned?
Yeah.
That's what she thinks.
I was just with him.
Really?
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago. On High Commission business. He seemed a little bit under the weather, but nowhere near this door.
Something isn't right. I mean, how does somebody go from being on top of the world 1 minute to being in an urn not a week after?
You tell me.
Strange things are happening, Pony. I feel like there's somebody following me.
You're being a little paranoid, aren't you?
Am I? I mean, who'd want to kill George? And I was right there working with him. Who's to say they wouldn't want to kill me too?
Why would they kill you?
I was there working with them, drafting everything.
Look, Ulric, calm down, man. You're not making any sense.
I know.
You're gonna have to tell me exactly what you were doing over there in Africa. Start at the beginning.
The intention is to create a federation of African states that could stand on its own. Of course, that would mean cutting some ties with Europe.
Now, you see that right there? That's subversive.
How?
That's how it's going to be interpreted, man. Did you have any contact with the Soviet Union?
No.
All right. I'll take your word for it. Okay, so what's next for you?
I have to carry Padmore's things back with me.
What things?
Yeah. Writings, papers.
Why don't you let me send them back in a diplomatic pouch for you?
Thanks, Lord. It's my responsibility.
Little lady going with you?
She's my wife, Pony. She'll be joining me in 2 weeks.
It's going to be quite an adjustment for her, you know.
Morning. Passport and ticket, please. Thank you very much. Where are you flying to today?
Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
May I see your passport, please?
Sure, of course.
Would you follow me, please? Place your bag over here, please. What is your occupation, Mr. Cross?
I'm a lawyer.
What kind of lawyer?
I
work for the government of Ghana.
What is your affiliation with the Communist Party of Great Britain?
None. I work for the government of Ghana.
They have a communist government there, don't they? What is your relationship with George Padmore?
Might I ask why? Madam, I have a plane to catch. Is there some reason that I'm being upheld?
You will leave when I am good and ready. How long have you known Mr. Padmore?
A couple of years. Mr. Padmore was a friend.
And Mr. Lambamba?
I want to speak to my consular representative.
Pack your things. I'll meet you outside.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Some kind of rubbish is going down, okay? They stopped me from getting on the flight and they took away
Ulric, what is this?
What's going on?
They stopped me from getting on the flight.
Okay. And they took away Padmore's papers.
That's odd.
Yeah, exactly.
Why the hell would they take away Padmore's papers? I mean, that's a dead man's private letters. It's going down.
Listen to me.
Something is up.
Okay, listen to me.
Listen to me.
You give them what they want.
No. I'm going to have you on that flight in no time.
No, man, I can't do that, Pony. I can't do that, okay?
Hey, listen. Communism is a hot button issue right now. No. Just let it go. Let it go.
On another day, you wouldn't be traveling at all.
So get yourself on that plane and get where you're going. And I will see what I can do about those papers, all right?
I will make sure that they're in a diplomatic bag and
sent on to you in Accra.
This is a day of national sorrow in Ghana. The flags are at half-mast. This is the funeral of George Padmore. Padmore was a revolutionary, an exhorter of people.
Padmore wanted to be buried in La Perouse Cemetery with his mother, but he died penniless. So Nkrumah brought him home to Ghana. After the public event, we convened at the castle.
Padmore, a West Indian, had traveled most of the revolutionary circuits, a disciple of Moscow here in Africa. Today, his ashes have arrived in Ghana to be deposited here on the grounds of Christiansborg Castle. Kwame Nkrumah, and to all the other nationalists of Africa still adhering to his wider goal of the United States of Africa, or
my heart, my heart, my heart, my heart, my heart.
We whose lives had been transformed by his ideas.
This place, this place.
Ted Huntley, NBC News, Ghana.
Grief-stricken, with Padmore gone, Nkrumah struggled to cope.
We are losing our grip on things. I know you think I am paranoid, but we cannot trust anybody now. They are around us. They are within our walls. Even now, I think, where are they? Are they in the plants? Are they behind the pictures? Can you hear me? I need you to go to Congo and let me know if we need to intervene.
At the All-Africa Conference, we had promised to stand together and to defend each other from the greed of Europe.
Do you understand?
Yes. With force, if necessary. Now Nkrumah wanted me to go to Congo to let him know if the time had come to act. I saw land torn up by mines. The world's biggest diamond store, now a site of war. It had begun with Lumumba's inaugural speech.
Les coups que nous devions subir matin, midi et soir, parce que nous étions...
Lumumba let the Belgians know that from now on, his country's huge wealth would not be used to line the pockets of kings and chiefs, but to improve the lives of the people. For this, Lumumba became a marked man. They made him eat that speech. The people rose to defend their elected leader. Then he disappeared. I saw a country under military rule. A United Nations peacekeeping force was in place, but they were not authorized to intervene. This gave cover to Lumumba's enemies to do their dirty work. General Mobutu, Lumumba's right-hand man and chief of staff, took charge.
Sir. I've called this press conference to make it very clear.
He announced that Lumumba was dead.
Couldn't even see his body. His body was not found. Unfortunate.
Killed by his own people.
Where is? Trust me, if I knew anything about Patrice, I would tell you. I don't know.
Then I saw a familiar face.
Denzel Howard from the Washington Post. We have reason to believe that...
What was she doing there?
This is the problem I have with you people. I try to be nice, I come to you to interact. You ask me, do I have a hand in his death?
Deserves an answer. This is an international affair. No.
Take your hands off me, please. No.
I later learned she was head of MI6 in Africa. On her deathbed, she would confess to organizing the assassination of Lumumba.
Any more questions?
We've also heard rumors that you were involved in Lumumba's death.
Who are you?
Ulric Cross is the name.
Knows this man?
This is Mr. P.K. Asante. We were both sent by President Nkrumah to find out the state of affairs in the Congo.
Yes, state of affairs. What do you see? What is the state of affairs now? What do you see? You come, what do you see? What can you see? What report are you hearing? Report circulating what?
Are you being paid?
But of course Mobutu was also in the pockets of the Americans, and that's how it worked.
And it has been the signal for violent reactions in many parts of the world. First in the United Nations, where a Security Council meeting was violently interrupted. In Paris, the Federation of African Students demonstrated. This was the scene in Belgrade, where a crowd estimated at 150,000 people marched.
Red China jumps on the propaganda bandwagon to protest the death of Patrice Lumumba.
We waited for Nkrumah to act, but he did nothing. It was too late.
My name is Larry Devlin. I'm a businessman. Mobutu is going to be good for the Congo. Import, export, I work all over Africa.
My name is Daphne Park. The events were quite organized. And it's quite comforting, actually.
Hello?
Sports.
Pony?
Yes, I'm in Ghana. I just got into town.
What are you doing here?
I'm in Accra, man. I'm coming over now.
Pull yourself together, man. This is not the Ulric Cross I know.
kill Lumumba, Pony.
I know. It was in all the newsreels. Even polite society in London is talking about it.
What am I even doing here, Pony? Look. Plans and more plans. Contracts. First part more now, Lumumba. There's a shadow looming over us, man.
You can't let Africa get you down. You have come too far. You'll have to decide whether this is your battle to fight.
Suddenly, I became aware of how much I had changed. Pony seemed like a stranger to me.
Which leads me to where to next, Mr. Navigator.
Cameroon. Only later would I learn why.
This man from Trinidad that is not Cameroonian at all.
Cameroon was facing independence. The premier visited Ghana and was discussing their predicament with Nkrumah. British civil servants would be withdrawn, and they didn't have Cameroonians to fill those posts. And had Nkrumah got any ideas? He suggested Ulric because he was somebody he would highly recommend.
Change is a good thing.
It was an honor to be requested by Nkrumah to go and help out another African country facing independence.
Kofi! Yes, I just got appointed. I'm coming over. I'll see you soon, man. I heard that you're my liaison there.
6 months before the plebiscite, we left and we went to Cameroon.
My old war buddy, Kofi Mensah, was there to pick us up from the airport. I hadn't seen him in a number of years.
So what's going on with the plebiscite?
If one is speaking French and one is speaking English, then there are two different laws and constitution that we have to rewrite to make it one.
We were staying in Buea, which is about 4,000 feet above sea level.
We have somebody like Ahijo. I can personally vouch for him. Ahijo is a very good man. We are coming close to the house now. Look.
And we went up, and there is this huge German castle in front of us.
Nice, Mr. Mensah, you've done well.
Oh, would I ever let you down?
And that was where the administrative capital developed, and that's where we were posted.
Please. All right.
What's your stuff?
Oh, Prince Dodo.
It's Dodo. Yes. Nice to meet you.
And Nana Mensah.
Nana Mensah is second.
Nana Mensah.
Second.
Ulric Cross. Thank you.
Let's lead the way. All right. So this is where you'll be staying.
I was in the right place at the right time.
It's a lovely house. Huh?
Camerounais, Camerounaises, le Cameroun est libre et indépendant.
I arrived in Cameroon as Assistant Attorney General.
With the power bestowed upon me, I am going to hand over to you the oath of office. Mr. Ulric Cross, you are now the new Attorney General of Cameroon.
Thank you very much.
After the plebiscite, I became the Attorney General. My job was to integrate the two legislative parts, French and English.
The Attorney General of Cameroon, Nkrumah, agreed to release this gentleman to me. His name is Mr. Ulric Cross.
He was a member of the elected members' assembly, so he was advising them about the law.
I don't want us to see ourselves as French Cameroon or English Cameroon. There's only one Cameroon. One what? One Cameroon. So
The objective was to try to revise the laws and to see how the two systems could be joined, which was really an impossible job. Then, because of this problem of not having experienced lawyers.
Just imagine where we would be if I have 4 of your kind.
Well, if it's more people like me that you want, then no problem.
They decided to go to the Caribbean.
So I got in touch with a number of people, because the white colonial lawyers don't have the right attitude, and the Cameroonians don't have the right training. We were looking for colored lawyers who have the right attitude and who have a very high level of education. They would be able to train Cameroonians to eventually take over their jobs. My minister and I came down to the West Indies aiming to recruit the best lawyers we could find for the job at hand. Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados. Cedric, we're giving you the opportunity to build a dream. You get to come in from the ground. Yeah, I know you're successful as a lawyer here
14
in Jamaica.
years.
That's perfect.
Can I call you Valentin? Your name comes highly recommended on my list. This is Mr. Simon Archer. He's the Minister of Justice from Cameroon.
Cozy Harris.
Mr. Cozy Harris. How you doing, man? We're drafting a new constitution for a new nation, a united Cameroon. As you know, it's French and English now, and help create a new Africa.
When were you looking for me to start?
They needed those people immediately, and they were able to get them very quickly. Recruited 8 Caribbean lawyers.
The recruitment was so successful of West Indians working in Cameroon that the local opposition newspaper wrote an editorial, West Indian Colonialism in Cameroon.
You still haven't talked about yourself, though, so where do you come in?
And the closest friend I had was Gladys Ndeli.
Women and children.
Okay.
And
We do for that. So realistically, how many rooms do you think we'll need?
So she said, what about trying to establish a health clinic there?
If we have it open, we can have more beds and we can attend to more women.
I was in a privileged position because I went to the British consul and I asked him how I could get the money. He said, I know. Every February or March, you have to add up how much money you've got left, and then you send it back to Britain. He said, you can have the money. And then, of course, we had to get the land. Now, the land is controlled by the chief. Endless meetings, nobody would agree.
We have to talk to them.
The women actually refused their marital rights.
So that the men will understand serious matter.
It's not uncommon, apparently. And so it was pegged out. We held it in an old German church with lots of holes in the roof. So we used to have to take buckets for the water to come through the roof. And it is to this day, it's called the Cross Clinic. I mean, it just changed my life. It was just a privilege to be there.
The place is very, very nice.
I would have been happy to stay there forever.
Mr. Cross, there's a call for you on line 1 from Ghana.
Mr. Cross here.
Okay, thank you.
Ulric? Ah, PK, how are you, man?
There's been a coup.
What?
The diplomat has been deposed.
Get up from there! PK. PK.
Yes, put everything down. Move. Come out.
PK.
Put everything down. Come out. What? Come out. Move down. Get up from there. Come out. Hey, my friend. Get out. Please don't shoot.
What was Mr. Nkrumah's reaction when he heard of the revolt? He didn't believe it. Do you think he had...
Dad, you listening to this?
...left Ghana to try and make a political comeback?
He said it was impossible.
These lands were given to me by my forefathers.
This thing about giving to receive in future, I want no part of that.
You can no longer think of it in terms of what is yours and what is mine is mine.
We're not trying to take advantage of anybody.
Resources in one part of Cameroon does not belong only to that part of Cameroon.
We are not going to share it with any other region.
My first interest is my people.
You've been taking care of your people while
this meeting is over.
Ahidjo became a dictator like Mobutu. He clamped down on all resistance, bypassing the laws of the country.
Yes, get the president on the phone immediately, please. Right. Okay, thank you. Can you get Kofi Mensah on the line, please? Tell him I need to speak to him. You tell him I want to see him.
How are you?
You want a drink?
Oh, please, please, something.
Fix it for you, like.
Mr. Cross.
Kofi, sit down. Ahidjo has clearly gone mad.
What do you mean?
Last week Friday, for instance. Yes? I'm sitting in my office. In walks this young lady. She comes, she brings a letter to me telling me that Ahidjo just changed parts of the Constitution to suit himself. This is the same rubbish that Hitler was carrying on with now. What about the rule of law?
You're making comparisons to Adolf Hitler.
Yes.
Do you even understand the people that are against him? The tribal chiefs are not giving him any leeway. He has to come out strong.
That's dictatorship. Oh, but sorry, I forgot. The two equate in your mind, yes?
Look, in Africa, we do things quite differently. Maybe something that you're not used to,
really?
But we do it differently, yes.
This, my friend, is the same reason why all of those imperial people tend to look at all of us as a bunch of niggas.
Fine, we are niggas. Fuck the imperialists. Fuck them. Your people. What do you want us to do? You came here and you thought this place would be so disorganized that you'll come on your white horse and change everything.
What blasted white?
When we have things in place, listen, you become intimidated because you're not used to it.
Kofi, I came to this country to do a job. I can't do my job if I'm being undermined every step of the way.
What part of your job are you not doing?
No, I'm doing my job. Let's get that very, very, very clear. What I'm trying to tell you is that your friend is making my job very difficult.
So I guess your job here is done.
Take it easy.
You need to watch your mouth.
Why? This is my house.
That we provided for you.
Oh.
That we provided for you.
Yes, sir.
You are ungrateful. You know that. Choose what you want to do.
I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore.
That's it. Given up. Quit. Move on. Shut down.
I'm not giving up. I'm just saying it's done. Okay, my job.
Of course it's not done.
Yes, it is done.
Does Kofi think it's done?
I don't give
Does Cozy Harris think it's done? Nobody thinks it's done. It's so far from done.
We are leaving.
Yes, sir. Oh, I will go anywhere with you, sir. You demand too much. You demand too much from me. I am your wife. You ask me. I am your equal.
Don't have to ask you nicely.
Yes, you do have to ask me.
I don't have to ask you nicely.
I'm not coming.
What?
I'm not coming. I'm staying.
Not staying here, God damn it.
You don't think I understand the situation?
I don't think you understand.
No.
You clearly don't understand. If you were to stand here with me right now and have this argument, right? A useless argument, you're not even arguing from a point of logic. You're just arguing from a point of emotion.
I am a human being.
Oh.
I'm a human being that has emotions and has feelings. I am connected and I am committed to this place. You are asking me to leave that, to cut my ties. I can't do that. Where does it go? I don't know where to push it down to.
Where to push what down to?
Feelings.
Look, I understand. You love your friends, you know, and you built your hospital, okay? And I'm very proud of you.
Me about that. It's not just about that. It's about making change, about making a difference. Slowly and surely, you commit your life to that. I commit my life.
Okay,
I'm here for the good.
What about me?
You don't commit. You just pack your bags and leave.
I have committed.
Then stay.
I'm not.
Stay. Stay. Please, for me, stay.
Right now, you're being like a child.
Fuck.
Look, sweetheart, I need to think clearly for a second.
I'd do whatever you want me to do.
Thank you.
People were saying, you know, you've done so much and so on. I said, I have learned far more than you have from me. Yeah, I always believe you can change the world, you see, that's the trouble.
I still had one more adventure left in me.
So what brought you to Tanzania?
I had been 9 years in West Africa. I decided to go to East Africa. I heard that Nyerere was doing great things in Tanzania.
Nyerere was introducing this African socialism, Ujamaa.
My friend, Telford Georges from Trinidad, was Chief Justice there, and he invited me to fill a judgeship.
Then I thought I was ill. So I had to go to the doctor and discovered I was pregnant. Well, it was a bit of a surprise, because we'd been married then 10 years, I think, yeah. And of course, my African friends were so happy.
That can happen again very easily.
I was born in Tanzania in 1974. I guess I always saw myself as a child of the world, being able to very easily jump from country to country and be okay with different cultures, and no matter where I go, people think that's where I'm from.
And then there was you. Yes, you. How important you were to my life. You will never imagine. So much was happening in Dar es Salaam. It was a meeting place for revolutionaries and leaders from Africa and the world. We all came to be part of Nyerere's amazing social experiment, Ujamaa. It meant family. I was deeply involved. Nyerere offered sanctuary and military training to independence movements across the continent. That I advised on constitutional law and labor law. I set up the first industrial tribunal to give rights to indigenous workers. Then Nyerere himself asked me to be the dean of law at the university. I could not refuse. The law was a weapon to transform colonial structures. We all knew the dangers that were ever present. It was soon after that I got a letter from CLR in London.
Ulric, I have unsettling news.
I think it's a beautiful book.
Thank
Obviously,
you.
beautifully written, and a story whose time has absolutely come. I'm so excited about it.
Thank you. I was at the club with my publisher discussing my new book.
That woman over there, don't look. It's Daphne Park, head of MI6 in Africa. Real ball breaker. Planning a drop-off, no doubt.
In plain sight?
No one would dare to question her. Well, that's probably one of her moles.
That's Pony. I can vouch for him personally. He's a friend.
They always are. What's his background?
Well,
ex-RAF? Thought so. That's how they recruit them. Their loyalty is proven. Colonial office, diplomatic corps, allows them to travel without detection, use diplomatic immunity, and of course, win confidence in high places, gather information.
No. Yes. No.
There's plenty.
Why would he betray us?
Money. Believe it or not, Nella, some people have no scruples. Oh, here we go. I wonder whose photos are in that camera.
All right, stationary. Thank you. Got it. Lovely. Lovely.
I hear that Pony is now with the Foreign Service in Tanzania. Take all precautions. I am convinced now that his intentions are nefarious.
Anthony McFarlane, call me Pony. You know, when you arrive in London, you have to look sharp in the sport.
Last call, last call.
Ah,
there he is, the man himself.
Good to see you, man. You finally mixed.
Yeah, you three of you look like you're plotting a coup. No. You're looking to blow up the Houses of Parliament?
No. Cheers. Cheers.
So I think my friend Anthony McFarlane is a spy. This is going to sound crazy, but it's a string of coincidences.
He always shows up where the action is.
Excuse me. Ulric.
Pony, man.
Coincidence or plan?
Poisoned.
Yeah, that's what she thinks.
I was just with him. I'm listening.
He's that go-to guy who just happens to be there.
I have to carry Padmore's things back with me.
Why don't you let me send them back in a diplomatic pouch for you?
He has a nose for tragedy.
First Padmore and now Lumumba. There's a shadow looming over us, man.
And now he comes here to Tanzania. I think you are his next target.
I'm very inclined to believe what you're saying, but proof is important. He's a diplomat. He has a diplomatic passport. You know, this could be a very serious international issue.
Sport! Yeah, Pony! It's good to see you, man.
Look at you. It's great to be here. Great to be here.
So what brings you to Tanzania, man?
Oh, I'm here for a wedding.
A wedding? A wedding?
It's more like a rendezvous.
Hey, rascal. You're keeping secrets in your old age, eh?
Classified, classified. The old rules apply.
Of course. The old rules always apply, man.
I dropped him at his hotel. The hunter had become the hunted. Pony's rendezvous was a front for a plot to overthrow Nyerere. He was bringing money and resources in for the local conspirators, including a wedding list of 37 names of army personnel believed to be sympathetic. After that, things moved very quickly. The plotters were rounded up and arrested. The surveillance photos told the whole story. There was only one thing left for me to do.
Why, Pony?
Why what?
Why?
Why what? What are you talking about?
Who are you? What's your story?
It is me, Pony, your old friend.
Cut it out, man.
I'm an employee of Her Majesty's government, just like you used to be. Everything I passed on, I got from you. The WISU, the war. You and I are two sides of the same coin, you realize that? Come out of the same cauldron of humanity. Foot soldiers in the same war. You don't see what I'm saying? How am I to know for certainty that you aren't the spy?
We're not on the same side, Paul.
I watched Pony leave. I never saw him again.
My father gave me choice. Not once when I was growing up did I ever feel like something was out of reach. Anything was possible. That was not true for him. I have that to thank him for. How do you thank someone for that?
Isaac Hayatali was Chief Justice in Trinidad at the time.
Yes, hi, Isaac. How are you?
He called me and said, "Ulric, it's time for you to come home." And I said yes. My work in Africa was finished.
Well, as it just so happens, I think I am prepared to leave.
He was part of something much bigger.
He fought the battle. But the war is mine to continue.
Looking for another home. Try to run away from my destiny. In another world, a world that was strange to me. Trying to change myself, change my identity. But strong is the power of love and the power of freedom, the power of black. This fills my heart.
That has been forged by people being brought here against their will, of every race. Ours is a legacy of resilience amidst struggle.
I build this place around my heart. No man can hold my tongue. No hand can feed me, fill my belly, or ever hold me down. I depend on no one for the sunrise or even the sunset. And I praise no one but my God for giving me success. From whence cometh the rain? Who cracks the seed that's dreaming underneath the ground? Who teaches the child to speak? Who inspires my heart to dance these words onto my tongue? I call this city Freetown. Call this city Freetown. Call this city Freetown. Call this city free. Call my city free. Call my city free. Call my city free. Call my city free. I don't know nowhere to be. I don't know nowhere to be. I don't know nowhere to be other than to be free. I don't know nowhere to be other than to be free. I don't know, no, no. No, 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 no. Other than to be free.